Hey everyone, welcome back to the sports section. I'll call this segment the bad take segment. That way, whatever I say in this video, I get protected by the fact that I call this the bad takes segment. So, as you can see from the thumbnail and the title, we're going to talk about Todd Boehly. I've not been a fan of this guy, not one bit, especially not since he sacked Thomas Tuchel. Of course, some people love him because, well, he buys every player left, right, and center that is trending on social media. That's, of course, one way to make sure that certain fans remain happy, while the real core fans, well, see behind the BS. So, I want to go over a couple of reports that talked about the reason why Thomas Tuchel got sacked because officially we haven't really gotten a statement from both sides, from Thomas Tuchel or from Chelsea, as to really why he got sacked. Now, of course, after that, we also sacked the next manager, which is Graham Potter. Now we've got Lampard. And it seems like we're going after Mauricio Pochettino next. What did he win in his career? Not much. Why aren't we going after Nagelsmann and Luis Enrique, or maybe even Jose Mourinho? Well, in short, because they probably see past the BS, they don't want to work for the egocentric American, and so they look elsewhere. Anyways, if you enjoy this type of videos, I would really appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you have not. Would really appreciate that. So, let's go over a couple of things that he mentioned at the start of the season. When you take over any business, you have to make sure you are aligned with the people in the business. And Tuchel is obviously extremely talented and obviously someone who had great success with Chelsea. Our vision for the club was to find a manager who really wanted to collaborate with us, a coach who really wanted to collaborate. I'll repeat this sentence because it's very important. Our vision for the club was to find a manager who really wanted to collaborate with us, a coach who really wanted to collaborate. Maybe he's not really familiar as to how football operates or how a club in football operates. But usually when you hire a manager, but in this case he's using the word coach because a coach is basically a puppet, but usually when you hire a manager, you have full confidence in that manager and you do what the manager's vision wants you to do. Not the other way around, because then what's the point, right? What's the point? He will just be the front man and you will be the puppet master. Continuing here. There are a lot of walls to break down at Chelsea. Before, the first team and academy did not really share data, did not share information about where the top players were coming from. Our goal is to bring a team together. All of that needs to be a well-oiled machine. Well, I don't really think this is true since a lot of academy players are playing the first team and we've had one of the best, if not the best, academy in the country. So, yeah, again, maybe internally some things weren't as good as they wanted it to be, fine, but this statement to me just doesn't make any sense. The reality of our decision was that we were not sure that Thomas saw it the same way we saw it. No one is right or wrong, we just did not have a shared vision for the future. It was not about Zagreb, it was about the shared vision for what we wanted Chelsea to look like. It was not a decision that was made because of a single win or loss. It was a decision that we thought was the right vision for the club. Yeah, again, I call out a BS here because you're not sacking a manager at the very start of the season after you have spent millions and millions of dollars, euros, pounds, whatever, bringing in players during the summer, bringing in players telling them that, hey, you will be playing under this manager. And this manager probably talked to the players as well, shared his vision of how he wanted to play. So again, this statement, in my opinion, pure BS here. And so I want to go into the next segment, and this is a report I saw not so long ago, and this might be a bit more believable in my opinion. Of course, this is just my opinion. This is very, very subjective, not objective. So the title was Another Todd Boehly Controversy Revealed. Chelsea owners sacked Thomas Tuchel after manager embarrassed him with halftime dressing room visit denial. So what happened? So apparently with visits to the Chelsea dressing room becoming more frequent with the club desperately struggling for form, TalkSport have reported that co-owner Boehly tried the tactic as early as September when Tuchel was still in charge of the club. This incident stood out, however, because it came at halftime of an intense 2-1 win over West Ham as the American was denied entry by the infuriated head coach. The report claims that Boehly, who co-owns the club alongside Begdat Eghbali, wanted to give a group of guests, including children, a personal tour at halftime of the game. Tuchel denied the request, however, to the surprise of the American. It clearly did the head coach no favors, as a tricky start to the season had him in hot waters with the new owners, before being sacked just a game later and replaced by Graham Potter. Let me go over this again. The report claims that Boehly, who co-owns the club alongside Begdat Eghbali, wanted to give a group of guests, including children, a personal tour at halftime of the game. Now, I don't know about you, but who does this? What kind of a moron wants to go at halftime during a Premier League game and show some guests around and children while the team, the manager, the staff have to be fully focused on the second half of the game and try and win it? What? How does that make any sense? I mean, as the owner of the club, you do have to have a certain amount of IQ to understand why this is not the correct move to do, not the correct time either. I mean, I think we can all agree here that this was not the correct move by the owner and a very, very correct move by the manager. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Can you imagine Pep Guardiola at halftime, yeah? The owners coming around with a group of guests and children and like, oh, can we go into the dressing room and see what's happening here? What? Would never happen. Alex Ferguson would have slammed the door in their face probably. To me, it's just mind-blowing. And I mean, the proof is in the pudding, right? Because if sacking Tuchel was the right move to do, Graham Potter would have been more successful. I would think so, especially with the amount of money that they've spent during the last two transfer windows. But we know that this was not the case. Why was this not the case? Was pure mismanagement. Transfer policies made absolutely no sense. We just kept on buying more and more players for incredible amount of money, even though these players aren't even worth a tenth of the amount of money that we've paid for them. Now, I'm not just saying this. The most senior player in our team says the same thing. Thiago Silva said this: I think the first step has been made, an incorrect step, but it has been made. We can't be blaming the managers if we don't take responsibility. It's a hard period for the club with a lot of indecision. And I agree here 100% what he's saying. I've said this countless times. We need to stop blaming managers for everything. Since the manager, pretty clearly here, is not the one deciding much, stop blaming the managers. Enough with the manager sackings. It just doesn't make any sense. The blame should be put on the incompetent owners of many clubs, not just Chelsea. Many Premier League clubs have incompetent owners and management teams. That's just the way it is. If it was a publicly traded company, trust me, management would have been kicked out by the board of directors and by investors. Silva continued, change of ownership, new players arriving. We had to increase the size of the changing room because it didn't fit the size of the squad. A positive point is that there are amazing players in the squad, but on the other hand, there are always players that are going to be unhappy. There is always going to be someone upset because not everyone can play. The manager can only pick 11 from a squad of 30 something. That's tough. I mean, can he be more correct? I don't think so. And yes, I channeled my inner Chandler Bing here. But he's 100% correct. I think in the summer, a lot of players will leave. Even the ones that we just signed, I think some of them would like to leave as well. But let's be honest. Changing ownership, fine, it takes some time. But if it takes some time, why spend all that money on players that are probably not even worth it? Just doesn't make any sense. And why spend it on so many players? With all that spending, we still haven't gotten a crucial goal-scoring number 9. To me, it makes no sense. The sacking of Thomas Tuchel still doesn't make any sense to me. Appointing Graham Potter makes even less sense. And then if we go after Mauricio Pochettino, again, this is another move that, to me, Makes my point just stronger and stronger. They're looking for a yes man, they're looking for a puppet. They don't have the balls to go after someone that has his own vision. They think, oh, we own the club, it's our vision, the manager just have to follow it, even though these people have not really been in football for so long. So that's why you have managers like Julian Nagelsmann, like Luis Enrique, probably, I don't know, Zinedine Zidane, Jose Mourinho, probably don't want to come near the club at the moment. Of course, things might change in the future, who knows, but currently those are my views and my thoughts. Of course, do share yours down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, would really appreciate that, and I see you all in the next one. Bye bye.